Daniele, thanks for being here. It's as Buzz was saying, it's a great occasion to talk about such an iconic brand as Ferrari and the way it can connect with fan communities through content. And in your role as head of content, you and your team are responsible for uh, all of the content that comes from the brand on digital, social, print, and so it's a lot of connection points with the community and with fans, and looking forward to hear what you can tell us about it. So first of all, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, everybody, and thank you. As my childhood dream was being a sailor, and yesterday night I had the chance to sail all across the sea. It was quite an interesting moment. Yeah.
Experience. And yeah, likewise. And talking about added value and iconic brands, um, you we said are responsible for everything related to content that comes out of the Ferrari world. Why is it so important for Ferrari to connect to fan community, being such a strong brand?
Well, Ferrari has quite a unique heritage. It's a long story, and it's a brand that everybody everywhere knows. I mean, it's in a way, long story short, it's easy to communicate something that everybody knows what it is, but at the same time, it's a big responsibility. And there are both people interested in the brand and fans, sports fans. So these are quite sort of different, different kind of followers of people that are interested in Ferrari, and so we have to find a way to engage them to strengthen the community, and this is I mean every day's job, as you said, both on the traditional media as the magazines or and in the social media, the website, everything is something you don't know how a follower can follow you, and so you have to find a way to engage them all.
And do you feel there are differences between like the sports fan of Ferrari and the brand's fan of Ferrari?
Yes, there's a big difference. This is sometimes people are surprised to know that brands fans are much more than sports fans. Uh, this is also because, for instance, in America, F1 is not as important as in Europe, because America has its own racing cars. I mean, NASCAR or kart, whatever, and the brands fan a lot more than the F1 fans. Yes, and we must find a way to communicate with them all.
In a way that feels true to both of them and incredible to sports and also brand fan,
Yes,
right?
yes, to be find something that they don't know, and something that can drive an emotion to them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And talking about emotion, connection, and loyalty, um, what can drive a real sense of connection between a brand and its fans, a brand like Ferrari in this case? So how can you understand what can activate those connections?
human, something that is very emotional and human stories, and something that people don't see. I mean, sometimes we. It's funny because we live in a place where all the cars are Ferrari, so it's it's very there's Ferrari everywhere, and so sometimes you get used to them. So we should start thinking of people that don't see a Ferrari every day and don't know what happens inside the factory, because still Ferrari is It's in the same old place in Maranello, which is a small village, and everything happens there. All the cars are built there, and everything happens there, and nobody knows really what's going on inside the factory.
So it's about changing the point of view in a way.
It's changing the point of view or finding a point of view that may be common to you that you live there, but it's definitely not for fans or for people around the world.
Okay, I was looking behind because we are seeing a couple of examples of content that Ferrari has published on social and digital channels that tell the story. There's a pigeon that tell the story of the brand from very specific details that are looked at in a different way than the standard way to do
Yes,
that.
this was for instance, this is an example. This short video, this reel, had a huge success, and it's simply a nail stitching the hose on a piece of leather, and this is something. I mean, we can see it everywhere, every day, everywhere, but it's such a simple idea, and I don't know how many millions. I should ask 20, 20 millions of viewers of this simple reel, and this was really unusual. And the other one
Yeah,
should
can
be,
we see the one that was showing before?
yeah, the other one is in the painting shop. Painting shop is among the buildings inside the factory, is one of the most exclusive because it's very difficult to get in. So we can see a car, no, not a car, a body of the car diving into this pool. Again, this was very easy, very simple to do, just putting a camera in front of that. But because we need somebody to tell us this can be interesting, because we see it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, it really resonated with the community. It was something that the community wanted to see. Apparently, it was not expected,
Yeah.
and they wanted to see it and share it. And talking about things that connect with the community, uh, do you take inspiration from what the community creates to build Ferrari content as a starting point?
Yeah, sometimes this happen. For instance, when we launch a new model, our biggest fear every time is a leak. I mean, when somebody can spot the car and put it on social. So once we said, okay, we can do this. It is very clever from our point of view. We darken a picture, and we teaser it. We put it in a teaser and say, you will see what's going to happen in a couple of days. And followers who are smarter than we are sometimes just lighten it up. And so they could see the car. And so the next time we thought just to have fun with them and say, as you lighten up the picture, you can do this with this. And so it was as saying, okay, you had the first, and now it's our turn. And
Yeah, it's
sometimes ideas come from them.
yeah. That also looks like a way to still have the tone of voice of Ferrari, but speak in a way that's close to how people express themselves, how communities are writing content, how people are dealing with content. The fact that they would manipulate the image to understand what was there. It's a great insight that Ferrari decided to use as their own to build then communication. So it's very interesting that this can happen in a tweet, but this can also be uh, like the support or the ongoing point of view for a specific channel. I'm thinking about TikTok for Ferrari, if there's something of that in the way it's set up.
Yeah, we've been, as you say, tone of voice is one of the big point for us. I mean, we've been struggling a bit with the tone of voice. As you say, we shouldn't drop from above things to the followers, but try to communicate with them. And TikTok was for us a challenge. I mean, we were not sure if using it or not, because we have TikTok for Ferrari is a unique channel for all the areas. I mean, F1, racing, and brand, and what all the areas. And TikTok is very human. There are a lot of people in TikTok, and we of course we have the F1 drivers who are very social, very young and very social. But we were not sure that contents just with cars or with part of the factory could work, but they did. I mean, things like the ones we saw before worked very well on TikTok. So we're finding a way.
Yeah, like deep dives on details that people can relate to. Also, working on trends that are coming up constantly on TikTok, being able to spot them as they rise and understand, could those be relevant to Ferrari as a brand, and can Ferrari say something that is relevant for this trend?
Yes, and because yeah, also music trends, and we need somebody to tell us this can be interesting. We can use it somehow.
Yeah. And talking about more in general, fans and community, they can be like the groundwork, the foundation for work on specific channels, but also they can be a point of origin for creative campaigns and creative ways of expressing that Ferrari uses to reach its fans. And there is a campaign that Ferrari launched a few months ago that is called Dear Enzo. And uh, the idea is, well, the question is how, starting from something that was there, that have been there for tens of years, had to build something for the community and with the community. So what's the background story of this campaign? And then we can maybe see the video, the video telling the story about it. And just trying to understand if the ambulance will sound again or maybe not. No, maybe you can go.
Well, yeah, that let's say that Enzo Ferrari was a man of the 19th century, but was really um, I don't know, in the future. He was living already living in the future. Enzo Ferrari used to answer.
Sorry about that.
No, no, it's okay. Um, Enzo Ferrari received thousands of letters every year, and he answered to everyone, to every single person that was writing to him. He used to answer. Not only he kept all the letters he received, and with the answer with it. And we in our archive there are dozens of um, how can I say come si dice faldone? Holders with all the letters, and we just used to see them as the Ferraris and as many things. And actually, you came, we as social came and said, why don't we do something with this? And so we thought that we could go through 1 year, pick up. There are any kind of letter. So there are letters from fans, from famous people, politicians, actors, whatever, and a lot of letters from children. And so we just took 1 year, 1985, and we went through 2,000 letters more or less, and we picked up the most interesting letters from children, and so those children now are almost 50, and we just wrote a letter to them saying, "Is this your letter?" To the old address. So we didn't know if the address was still good, if they were still alive, if they were just moved somewhere else. And we got a few answers, and
we can see the video telling the story. Thank you.
Vista ne ha costruito un 126 C3, numero 27.
A me piacerebbe vedere una Ferrari o Testarossa o GTO.
Ti volevo chiedere se me ne dai una poco prezzo.
40 anni fa 3 bambini scrissero una lettera non a Babbo Natale ma a Enzo Ferrari.
Una storia veramente particolare che inizia con questa lettera.
Chiedevano di poter visitare la fabbrica, un desiderio che oggi Ferrari ha deciso di realizzare in occasione del Natale.
Questa sorpresa di essere ricercato dalla Ferrari è stata ancora più incredibile. Ma cavolo, ma dopo tutti questi anni ancora avete questa lettera? Fantastico. L'amore non passa, anche per queste cose qui.
So starting from this statement of Enzo Ferrari, there's a question: how much of Enzo Ferrari's heritage is living today in the brand?
it's a huge, huge heritage. He was so really. I think he was living in the future. For instance, these letters. I mean, they were sort of were there for us, and for these people, these three men, was a dream that came true. For after 40 years, they had the chance to meet Enzo's son Piero Ferrari, and they just came. We didn't tell. We selected a few of them. At the end, we chose these three people, and they didn't know anything. They didn't know what's going to happen to them. We just say, we would like to. They didn't know each other, and we said we would like you to come for a couple of days to Maranello, and they didn't know anything, so they had a chance to go to drive a Ferrari, to visit the factory, and to meet Piero, and everything was a surprise. I think that in this video, the human side, the surprise, the real passion for the brand is very clear.
Yeah, I agree with that. And do you think what were the effects of this campaign, both internally and externally, for Ferrari?
Well, internally, it was a moving surprise for many of the Ferrari people, because this story was very real, very human, and HR people that usually are not very human, they are using this video to show when they go around and speech, they use this video just to show the people what Ferrari means. And for the news, all the papers spoke about this video, the TV, social media, websites. It was really everywhere, and for us it was a big and a great surprise, and we were very proud of that.
Thanks. And I would open up to Q&A if we have anyone who wants to ask something about content from Ferrari, or how fan and communities connect with iconic brands. And while we wait,
No.
I can have a question for you while we wait, which was more about like the classic. If you had a piece of advice that you would like to give to a marketing executive thinking about connecting her brand with relevant communities, what would that advice be?
I still think that this video and the success of this video just tell us that the human side is still the most important thing. More than, of course, we cannot speak about innovation. We are here to speak about innovation, but I still think that if those letters were not on a piece of paper, we would not be here to speak about this. So we were lucky to have a person like Enzo Ferrari that had in his mind to keep it, to keep everything, and so there's a sort of hidden treasure somewhere in the factory, and sometimes we just need somebody to spot it for us. We see it everywhere. We're not used to watch it properly, uh, and we think that this is this is something very very interesting for everybody.
Thanks, Daniele. It was great to speak to you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you everybody.
We have a question.
So, hello, so nice to meet you. We know that most recently Netflix had the show with Formula One, right, with all of the racers, and I think that became a very exciting content. Can you tell us a little bit of the impact of what that content made to Ferrari, and did you see any positive on Ferrari fans because of that Netflix show?
Yeah, it was again it was something new for us. I think we could be happier if we won. Well, we didn't, but yes, it's the impact was very good, very interesting. Is This is something is coming. It's getting more bigger and bigger. This Netflix story with the F1, with the whole F1, and yeah, we hope to tell something to have a more interesting story in the future with Netflix, because for the moment, from the point of view, the result is not that big, but it's definitely something, and this can help also to spread out both Ferrari but the F1 circus.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
you, Babs.
guys.
Thank you.
That was great. Everyone give him a
Thanks.
hand.